You don't need to burn your business to the ground to feel aligned and to feel free. And I'm speaking to you because you're in a very specific situation. You're very successful at what you do, and yet it feels like you're trapped in it. It feels like there's something more, something deeper, something maybe more aligned. But this video is very important because I do not want you to make a big mistake that I've seen lots of people make, where they burn their success to the ground chasing freedom. Because we can have both, right? We can have the external freedom that you've already got, which comes with having resources, having money, having time. And yet we want to also embody that deep internal freedom, where we don't feel like we have a cage on us, where we don't feel like we're living someone else's life, our life is wasting away. We want real liberation inside and out. But that doesn't come from chasing some retreat in Bali, or doing ayahuasca, or burning your business to the ground because you want to live like a monk. Listen, you have your own freedom, you can do whatever you want, but I would highly recommend that let's explore this first, right? Because if I'm right, then this is going to save you a lot of suffering and a lot of money as well. Because, I got an amazing person in my life who I love, and he lived a story that is a great story, but it's not so much fun. He had, 7-figure consulting business, doing extremely well, but it just tore him up inside, and he just got extremely burnt out. It felt like just chains on him. And so he burned it all down. He left, he exited, and he just went to the woods, was hanging out, meditating, having experiences, doing plant medicine. And he really unlocked a beautiful thing. He started to really get in touch with himself. He started to really get some internal freedom. But he was losing his resources. That business was gone, and that money was dwindling away till the point where he actually didn't have a place to stay anymore. He didn't have a home. He was going from place to place to place, and he lived in real instability for a good while. And it was very challenging for him, very challenging. And yeah, he had that deep internal freedom, and he was liberated there, but he was not liberated here. And wow, that's an amazing gift to have internal freedom. If we're not integrating the external, we just experience a new type of suffering. We just experience a new pain. And we just throw out the baby with the bathwater. And so he tells me, thankfully he's, kind of moving to the other side of this now. He tells me that if he knew what he knew now, if he knew that he could attain that deep internal liberation without burning anything down, without going off on some crazy adventure to the jungle, without doing all that medicine, but he could actually just do it by what we're working on, breaking internal constructs that keep us stuck, breaking those internal maps and stories that make us feel that dread, that make us feel that intense sense of trappedness or performance. That he could live in absolute liberation and freedom right now when he had the business, when he had the resources. And that doesn't mean that things might have not changed. They definitely would have. From this more aligned place, he probably would have changed things in how he was operating, how he was running the business. But he would not need to burn the business down. He would not need to just push it away and exit and leave without the resources that are genuinely important. Right? And so his story, he's had his venture, it's his path. But for you, maybe it doesn't need to be that way. Maybe instead of burning it down, losing the resources that you've acquired to attain internal liberation, you can experience both at the same time. And actually you can experience it in a way that one supports the other. I work with a wonderful person, and he was having a lot of these problems. That's why he came to me. And he was experiencing dread. He was getting so many opportunities. He was telling me that if 5 years ago he had seen the level he was at, the opportunities he was getting to manage all these different teams, that he would just be like, wow. He would just be so happy, so grateful. Yet in that time, he just experienced just absolute dread. He just really did not enjoy life. And each opportunity, with all the financial resources that came with it, each opportunity felt like a huge burden. He felt like he was getting more and more trapped in a cage of his own making. And he was getting to the point of, why don't I just reject them all? Why don't I just say no to all of them and just chill, just enjoy life? And I get it. I get it. It's so extremely normal to have that reaction. But I just invited him. I didn't say what to do. I didn't say don't do it. But I said, let's just explore this a little bit deeper. And we did some real work on what was the internal map that created this to begin with. Because what we're experiencing here is the business, those opportunities that were coming his way, that's what we call a trigger. And they were generating a symptom. The symptom being the dread, the symptom being the stickiness, a feeling of like, oh, I just cannot do this anymore. Right? But that's just the symptom. And if we constantly work from the symptom, we're not getting any deeper. We're not actually making real change to our internal map. So we just explored the symptom, explored the trigger, and we just asked this simple question. What is it truly about this opportunities that's generating these symptoms of dread and this? And he's like, oh, well, there's just this kind of criticalness inside of me. I'm like, huh. And let's notice that. There's a criticalness inside of me. Well, now we're moving from this is outside. The opportunity is there, the problem. The opportunity is there, what's making me feel dread, the teams, whatever it may be, to now inside. Oh, it's a criticalness inside of me. Huh, isn't that interesting? Isn't that completely different to what we thought the problem was, right? Isn't that a completely different way of looking at it? So we explored it a little bit more. And we got very symbolic, very somatic. When we're doing this work, we just work with whatever the mind brings up. And sometimes it's real cognitive, and it's really easy to explain that this belief led to this and led to this. But sometimes it comes on and it's real sensorial, somatic, something you're experiencing in the body, or sometimes it's even symbolic. This was a little bit of a mixture. And he goes, yeah, it's critical. It's this real stickiness. I just feel this real stickiness. I'm like, huh. You know, I've been around doing this for a little bit now, done probably a good 1,000 sessions of this kind of work. And so often I notice stickiness, and symbolically it's often what we call an introject, right? Something we've taken on from the outside world, a truth that is not true, right? An introject just means we've taken on a way of constructing reality that actually might not be accurate, right? And so I notice this stickiness seems like an introject. Get a little bit curious just to make sure it is. And I'm like, I wonder where you might have taken this critical stickiness from. And so he shared, it's just there's a person in his life that he took this from. And when we noticed that, I just asked, well, I wonder what it would feel like just to allow that stickiness and criticalness, just to leave you and just go back to them, along with any messages, stories, beliefs, feelings, or symbols that came along with it, just allowing all of that to go back and just noticing as that goes back what emerges in the space left behind. This is just a very classic introject release, something that I learned from an amazing mentor, Kim Barter. And what emerged in that space as it went back was a real just space. I mean, from that space, what emerged from him was a peace, a lightness, but also a real joy. This real directional joy, actually. Just joyful aliveness in many ways. So we nurture this joyful aliveness, this peace. Not adding words, not trying to grow it, but just being with it, nurturing it, celebrating it, and watching what happens. And it just filled his whole body, filled the mind, grew so big. And we just stayed with it, just being with the beautiful breakthrough that's emerging, not getting involved, not trying to add my own stuff or even add what his mind wanted to bring. Just noticing what's there, noticing what's arising absolutely organically. And just stayed with that. And then as it got real strong, and we just allowed it to continue to grow, we got curious from this place. What happens to those initial symptoms and triggers? He's like, what were they again? And then we just get curious. Well, what happens now when you have the meetings with your teams, or when a new opportunity comes in? And you just notice, that beautiful aliveness, that joy, that peace is still there. Doesn't really make a difference if I'm on a team meeting or not. That's there for me. I feel like actually it would be enjoyable to connect with the guys, to help them. I feel almost a little bit of motivation to actually do that now. But from a very different place, not from criticalness or performance, but just I want to help them. I want to, this is fun for me still to build this, to work with the guys. And I from this place, it feels fun. It feels like, this is going to be good fun. And then just let them be in that. Not pushing it, just getting curious. Just nurturing it, celebrating it. That's what we do with the light that emerges. Just nurture and celebrate it. Let it grow. Let it deepen. And get real curious about what changes about those initial symptoms and triggers. And we just notice them dropping away one by one. And we just allow it to cement, allow it to deepen. And then I just sent him off with that. And we met the next week. And I go, what was it like this week with that aliveness, with that peace? And he was just lighting up. Really enjoying his calls. Really enjoying the meetings. Even feeling really grateful for some of these opportunities and feeling a renewed capacity to take them on. And yet, he still had that real desire for deepening this internal liberation. That was a big focus of his. And we continued to work with every other thing that might have emerged. But that aliveness, that peace, that stayed. And he got to be with that. He got to carry that with him. He got to feel truly free internally, as well as have the external be free too. It wasn't an either or. It wasn't I have to choose the carrot or the apple. I get to have both. I get to have that beautiful success that I've built, that I've truly, put work into to grind and create. And it's important. It matters. And yet, the internal matters just as much. And having both, having that true liberation, that absolute freedom, running through the internal and external. That's what we're here to do. That's what it's all about. Not forsaking one for the other, but having both. And that's what I want to invite you to explore. What does that look like for you? And if you need support with that, reach out and I'll see if I have the space. But it would be wonderful to connect. Bye for now.